What if I told you the fastest path to real wealth isn't some high-flying tech startup or the next crypto fad? What if it's actually hidden in plain sight, right on your own street? Well, today we're diving into the Mainstreet Millionaire playbook. It's a 5-minute guide to building serious wealth with the kinds of local businesses we see every day, but rarely truly see. So let's start with a big question. Where is real wealth actually built? Do you picture the frantic trading floors of Wall Street? Or the quiet, steady hum of Main Street? You know, most people are glued to stocks and high-risk gambles, but we're going to make the case for the complete opposite. And the hero of our story today is the Mainstreet Millionaire. Now, this isn't some genius inventing the next big thing. Nope. This is a smart investor who buys existing, predictable businesses, think laundromats, car washes, landscaping companies, and then turns them into serious wealth-generating assets. Which brings us right into our first section, the unseen opportunity. This is all about training your eyes to see the incredible value in what most people would just call, well, boring. See, this whole thing requires a big mental shift. We're all conditioned to chase what's sexy and glamorous, right? But the real prize isn't glamour, it's predictable cash flow. These boring businesses are often absolute cash flow machines, churning out the steady revenue that becomes the foundation of real wealth. And this gets to the heart of the entire strategy. Why on earth would you suffer through years of high-risk, zero-profit struggle trying to build something from scratch? When you acquire an established business, you get to bypass that entire painful phase. You inherit customers, you inherit operations, and, most importantly, you inherit day-one cash flow. It is a massive head start.
Okay, so the idea is compelling, for sure. But how do you actually do it? How do you find these businesses? That brings us to our second section, the acquisition playbook.
Look, buying a business isn't random. It's a disciplined 3-step hunt. First, you have to identify an overlooked gem. Then, the absolute most critical step, you evaluate its cash flow. That's the lifeblood. And finally, you assess its future, looking for all that hidden potential the current owner might have missed. And this is where you learn to see what other people don't. A steady stream of cash, that's your ticket to entry. But the real opportunity, it's in the flaws. Are the operations outdated? Is the tech from 10 years ago? Is their marketing basically non-existent? For a smart buyer, these aren't red flags, they're giant flashing green lights inviting you to step in and unlock immediate value.
Because buying the business is really just the beginning. The real magic happens next. So let's get into Section 3, Unlocking Hidden Profit.
Let me give you a perfect example. An entrepreneur buys a struggling laundromat. It's got customers, sure, but it's just tired. What do? Well, they swap the old machines for new energy-efficient ones, which slashes utility costs. They add automated payment systems, so it's easier for everyone. They build a simple website, something the old owner never even thought of. The result? Happier customers and a huge jump in profits.
In that laundromat story, it isn't a one-off thing. This logic applies pretty much everywhere. As you can see, the tactics are actually pretty straightforward, but man, are they powerful. Upgrading tech, like giving a landscaping company modern scheduling software, can basically eliminate downtime. Controlling costs, outsourcing the boring stuff. Each one of these small, smart tweaks just compounds over time, turning a good business into a great one.
Now, owning one profitable business, that's fantastic. But the Mainstreet Millionaire is already thinking bigger. And that brings us to Section 4, from one to an empire. This is where we get into some next-level strategy. It's called the roll-up. It's when you buy up several small businesses in the same industry, let's say a handful of those laundromats all across the city. By rolling them up together, you can centralize things like management, you can get way better deals with suppliers, and create efficiencies of scale that a single little shop could never dream of.
But, and this is a really big but, as you build that empire, the stakes get way higher. This is where the single most important rule comes into play. It's not about making money anymore. It's about not losing it. A Mainstreet Millionaire is a master of calculated risk, not a gambler. So you've got to build a fortress around your wealth. And that comes down to 3 critical layers. First, diversification. Don't put all your eggs in one laundromat basket, right? Spread your bets. Second, legal protection. Use things like LLCs to build a firewall between your business assets and your personal life. And third, just plain old financial prudence. That means having cash ready and the right insurance to handle any storm that comes your way.
All of this leads to our final, and honestly, probably the most important section,
You can have all the tools and tactics in the world, but none of it works without the right perspective. This is Section 5, the millionaire mindset.
This quote really just nails it. An employee thinks about their next paycheck. An owner thinks about systems, about scale, about equity. It is a massive shift from just earning an income to building a wealth-generating machine that can and should run without you having to be there every single day.
And you absolutely do not do it alone. Wealth is almost never built in a vacuum. The right network, mentors, advisors, other business owners, they can give you opportunities and insights you would never, ever find on your own. In this world, your relationship capital is just as valuable as your financial capital.
So we're going to end with a challenge for you. The next time you walk down your own main street, I want you to look closer. That laundromat, that landscaping truck, that local car wash, which one is just sitting there, waiting for a new owner with a fresh pair of eyes to come in and unlock its true potential? The opportunity probably isn't on Wall Street, it might just be right around the corner.